right, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We're here with Gearspace, and we are Kilohearts. We make a series of effects and synthesizer plugins for all platforms, PC, Mac, and all major DAWs. And our system is sort of a semi-modular approach to software synthesis. It doesn't have the complexity of real modular. It's more like a musician's approach to modular synthesis. So diving right into it, here is Faceplant, our main synthesizer on screen here. And what we're showing here is one of the newest modules in it, sort of a granular synthesizer that you might have heard about before. Can make sounds like this, that are like snippets of a sample that are played in quick succession or over each other, and then effects on top of that to make some cool soundscapes. But let's start from the beginning. I'll create a completely new patch. Faceplant doesn't make a sound when you initially load it up. You have to build your patch yourself, and the way you do that is on your left here. You have a generator section, and then after that comes an effects section, and then at the bottom there's a lane for modulators if you want to make changes over time to your sound. So let's start with the most simple example we can think of, a simple saw wave. So that's how a generator looks like. It has some basic parameters and some basic shapes, and there are plenty of types of generators to choose from. You can add any number of these as you like. You can add granular, like I just mentioned, noise generation, samplers, and wavetables, for example, and many more. And it's pretty deep. There are a lot of default wavetables, and you can create your own. There's an onboard wavetable generator on top of all the great factory content available from famous sound designers. And you can get stuff like this. So the great thing about Faceplant is that it's really quick and easy to add modules like this, and you can do something that's not super common is that you can add any amount of generators. Like you can stack this really high. You can rearrange them any way you like. It's very easy to do drag and drop kind of stuff like this. And then so once you're happy with your signal generation, your sound is then routed over to the effects section, where you similarly add just the effects that you want, say a type of filter, and then a reverb, and then maybe a limiter to close it off, to do not have too loud of an output. So yeah, really quick and easy to work with. Everything is drag and drop and super simple like that. And then, like I mentioned, down at the bottom, again, you can add modulation sources, as many as you like. So the classic LFO, of course, and many other types of modulation. The way you set it up is you add the modulator down here, and then you connect it with this little plus sign. And when you click that, you get into a state where you can choose your targets for it. So I can add a little bit of a vibrato to the oscillator, or tremolo, and then do something like this. And now I have that always visible, which is great. It's a great way to see what you're doing, how that affects your waves. So now, yeah. And then the last thing I want to mention before we talk about the granular generator is that in the generator section, you can also do modulation from one source over here, like the green arrow symbols. They represent audio rate modulation. So if you want to hook up this output from this wavetable to phase modulate the first oscillator, this is how you do that. And then again, with the visual feedback, you instantly see what your FM is doing to that first wave, making it the perfect learning tool for not only general synthesis but also FM synthesis. And the phase isn't the only target for your audio rate modulation. You can modulate. You can do various types of modulation of, like, if you modulate the level with the green modulations, that's what's generally called ring mod as well. And you can go really crazy with this. You can add any number of these modulations. You can even self-modulate, or you can modulate in weird circles like this. So what's happening here is I have the first oscillator is modulating the second one, which is then in turn modulating the first one, which is resulting in this chaotic waveform that probably sounds really, really bad. I'm not even going to play it, but just to show you an example. All right, so that's that. And then one of the new additions to Faceplant that we recently released is a new generator called Granular. And this is something you can expect from Faceplant in the future, new additions that are free for everyone who already owns the plugin. So we will be working on more generators over time. So the latest addition is the Granular, where you can load up some cool sample, and then when you play it, sorry, we have some. There are some other exhibitors here today, and they also want to make some noise, so I can't really hear what I'm playing. But it's sort of a classic granular setup where it plays back short snippets of a sample in quick succession to make sort of a sound mat of that part of that sample. And the great thing about it is while this is hopefully pretty easy to understand, you can have an envelope for each grain and stuff like that. It also benefits from just being inside Faceplant. You get all the benefits of all this crazy modulation that you can apply to all the parts of the new granulator as well. Like you can modulate the envelope to change over time like this, and that is the same for any parameter on the granular generator. And again, taking advantage of all the effects that are built in, it gets really crazy. You can do some really, really cool stuff. So yeah, we're really happy about that. I would love to play you some, but there's sort of a loudness war going on in the room. So instead, let me maybe mention that we also have full MPE compatibility. So if you have a MIDI controller that is MPE compatible, you can use that to great effect in Faceplant. So like this one, for instance, we have right here the Osmos from Expressive E, the keyboard we're using today. It has the features where you can like pitch bend each note, and you can do that polyphonically, so you can do some really nice expressive playing with that. And the way you use that in Faceplant is you set up a modulator down here for one of the MIDI inputs, like pressure or MPE timbre. And when I now play notes down here, you can instantly see the amount of pressure I'm applying or the amount of MPE timbre I'm playing. And that applies to polyphonous notes, and then you can hook these up to various parameters in your patch to control that with your keyboard, which makes for great use in expressive playing. It's really, really cool how you can do stuff like that about this. I don't know how this sounds because again I can't really hear what I'm playing, but yeah. Let me load up an example from Expressive E themselves. Let's see here. So yeah, this is a great example of not only an MPE compatible preset that is really interesting to play, but also an indication of how advanced you can get with Faceplant. From all of those simple building blocks I explained, you can build really, really convincing sounds and just have really, really great fun with the products. It's a great thing. You should try it out. We have a 10-day free trial, and yeah, check out kilohearts.com. Thank you.